Hey y'all, iRick Sky here, and I've got the Mavic 2 Pro, and that's my anemometer. This is my first flight in the field with the Mavic 2 Pro. So again, I love DJI, but like every other drone review, I'm gonna go at it without any form of bias. And this is the production release. You can check the link within this video's description, expand this video's description, and you can find the link to order the Mavic Pro 2, or Mavic 2 Pro rather. They flip those numbers and words around, or the Zoom version, and as well as all the accessories, the other drones, and a whole lot more. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Let's take a look at our wind here. .5, 0.7, 0.3 knots, 0.1 knots, not hardly any wind at all. So the Mavic 2 Pro wind performance test will have to be another time when we've actually got some wind. This little camera guard right here, what DJI's done with this, now they didn't make it completely dark. You can see it's semi-transparent, but it's still an awkward camera protector design. But at least they put this little hinge on there, so it should be obvious for most operators that this should not be flown with. But I wish they had just made it completely dark, because he can still see through it. So it could confuse some people. Obviously this version has the Hasselblad camera, 1-inch sensor, and with this lower light, it's a golden hour. And I want to get some really good low light situations in upcoming videos during civil twilight and civil sunset. But this is just the first time in the field. The design of this drone is very nice. I'm going to put this over here so I don't step on it and break it. It is significantly heavier than the Mavic Air, but with that extra weight, comes enhanced battery life, and also the overall build quality of the drone. Although I felt the Mavic Air was exceptionally well made, the build quality of this is even a step above that. The propellers, you'll notice, are quite bigger than the Mavic Air. Looking at the underbelly of this thing, you can see all the little sensors. I did put my micro SD card in here for the 4K video that I'll be recording today. So again, you can check the link within this video's description to find the drone, the micro SD card and everything. But I didn't bring my landing pad. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and I'm gonna power on my controller first. This right here is a controller, very nice design. I'm using the iPhone 7 Plus, so you know, I haven't rushed out and upgraded to the 10 or whatever it is, and you know, this phone works great. So, well, it worked great for my Mavic Air. It'll be interesting to see how it works for the Mavic 2 Pro. Very good controller design. I like how it grips my iPhone 7 Plus. I do wish that they had an integrated screen option. I mean, for this price point, that would have been a very good you know, thumbs up. Parrot and Offie did that really well, integrating the screen. So did GoPro Karma, even though GoPro Karma unfortunately failed. All that I've done so far, I've updated the firmware on both my controller and my drone. We're gonna put this out here in some grass and power it up. Since I didn't bring my landing pad and I'm in tall grass, I'm going to kind of let it do its thing for a second with the gimbal. I feel really stupid not bringing my landing pad, because that kind of does sit in the tall grass, but let's see how it does anyway. Let's get this thing going here and try to get y'all a good screen recording of all of this action. Multi-camera. This video is in 4K Ultra HD, so if you have a compatible display, be sure to crank it up. Again, first time in the field with the Mavic 2 Pro. Trying to keep everything as you know, no form of bias whatsoever. I do have high expectations for this drone, especially since it's got a 1-inch sensor and a Hasselblad camera. Gimbal overload. And that's because I'm in the grass. So let's see here. Yeah, I may have to, since I forgot my landing pad, I may just kind of improvise here for a second. I've got this little thing that my anemometer was in that may better elevate it from the ground. Because once I'm in the air, it's not going to matter. But it's just getting her airborne. Yeah, now we should, okay. That's cured that. Obviously, I'm in a safe and responsible location. Super important for drone hobbyists to be aware of their surroundings and be safe and promote this hobby in as positive a way as possible. I'm going to go ahead and hit recording using 4K 30 frames per second. We can see now it's recording as indicated by the countdown from 1 hour and 25 minutes. Let's crank our motors. I've already performed the pre-flight safety inspection. I did that off camera, made sure everything was in working order according to manufacturer's guidance and my own checklist. So let's crank her up. Oh man, quiet. Ho 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 ho. Man, that thing is whisper quiet. Let me bring it closer. It's got a very, there's a vroom. It's not a buzzing like obnoxious bees. Let me bring it closer here. Exceptionally quiet. Now I don't have prop guards on, so obviously I'm going to be very safe about how close I get to myself. I'm going to bring it back. It is in the camera's field of view. Just want y'all to admire how quiet that is. It stopped. Obstacle avoidance did kick in. Again, I never trust obstacle avoidance, but I think it's a good thumbs up for people that are safety conscious drone pilots like myself. Let's take it to a safe and responsible altitude, and then we'll start to play around a little bit here. Battery was at 100% or close to it when I started. I made sure I had a full charge. With this 1-inch sensor, what I'm expecting us to see, and again, I'm just out in the field right now flying it, what I'm expecting us to see is just very good detail. This being a Hasselblad camera, the color science should greatly exceed that of a Sony camera. I love Sony. Actually, I'm shooting this video, the face on video portion, with a Sony camera with a Zeiss lens. Let's get kind of low to the grass here, and let's see what kind of detail we can get. The sun is in that direction, by the way, so it'll be interesting to see how these shadows look from the trees. I'm going to go backwards at a high rate of speed. Man, that thing buzzes around. Look at that. Look how fast this thing is. 29 miles per hour there. And that's not sport mode. Obviously, I don't care about sport mode because I'm all about getting slow and cinematic video. I don't care about racing. And I know that's a big hobby, and a lot of y'all may be drone racers as well, but I think there's a drone for everything. And you know, I wouldn't, this wouldn't be the type of drone that I would be going after if I was into racing drones. But what I'm hoping we get, let's just go straight up here. I'm hoping we get exceptionally crisp 4K video quality. Notice the HDR, the high dynamic range. You know, look at the shadows, look at the clouds, look at the trees. We are 170 feet, 180, 92, 204 above ground level, obviously. I have no desire to go close to 400. So let's just kind of look around here. Look at this scenery. I'm gonna do a slow pan. Again, paying close attention to the detail. You know, that's what should make this Hasselblad camera great, is the detail, the HDR, the high dynamic range. You know, looking at this on a 4K TV, how good does this look? Look at the clouds, look at the light passing through the clouds. You know, look at the water, look at the reflections, look at the subtle details. You know, all of that is what differentiates a good camera from a stellar camera. So now let's bring this down here. We can see the trees I mean, just what's amazing is looking at this in the FPV, the first person view within the app. It's incredibly detailed. Again, this is a newer version of OcuSync, and obviously I fly line of sight to be safe and responsible, but this newer version of OcuSync, if a pilot was not careful, you know, they could greatly exceed visual line of sight. So, you know, this is, look at that, I'm going sideways. I'm gonna go the other way. Just looking at that grass detail, looking at this higher rate of speed, traveling at a nice 30-something miles per hour. Let's kind of race back towards me here. See, there I am in the shadows. He's in the shadows. Whoa! Man, the sound of this, what's so cool, and you can't appreciate it unless you're out here actually flying it, but the sound of this thing is just, it's magical. Now I'm gonna go slow downward camera, which would be called a tilt. And now I'm gonna go backwards and I'm gonna go tilt up. You can adjust the gimbal wheel speed. To find my settings, check out another video. I'm gonna share my camera settings that I use for the Mavic 2 Pro. You know, something to pay attention to, this obviously being the first flight, is, you know, any sort of abnormalities. You know, are you seeing any problems with the video? Are you seeing any things that this thing cannot handle well? For example, let's kind of go towards, not into the sun here, but let's kind of, oh, am I looking up? Okay, so the sun's right there. Whoa, I don't want to ruin my camera, so I'm not going to stare at it too long. But just kind of give you a quick idea of how it can handle the sun. There's a lot of things that people take into consideration when they're evaluating the performance of a drone. And one of those things is the ability to perform well in various lighting conditions. And I can say from a just a pure performance perspective, I mean, this thing feels like a beast as far as how fast it is, as far as how quiet it is. I mean, it's apparent that DJI has truly marketed this drone for a professional that desires portability. You know, they want great results, they want great image quality, they want something that's reliable, something they can stick a micro SD card in and format it and not have to wonder, hey, is that card gonna work? By the way, this is the same card that I was using with my Anafi, and my Anafi just spit it out and said, no, I'm not gonna format that, dude. I had high hopes for Anafi. And you know, Anafi, the competition, it served a purpose. You know, it said, hey, we're gonna put a zoom camera on a drone. And they did it. The camera on the Anafi was pretty good. But, I mean, when you hold this thing in your hands, when you insert a micro SD card and format it and you don't get problems, I mean, it's apparent that this is a very well-made drone, and it comes, I mean, it's to be expected. I mean, this comes from a company with a stellar reputation in the drone realm. I mean, without a doubt, in my opinion, the best drone manufacturer in the world. And I would like to see more competition. You know, I try to stay as brand agnostic as possible. But I mean, DJI is just putting out such solid stuff that it's kind of like, you know, if you try anything else, you just kind of feel like it's second rate, and I hate that. I mean, I hate that for the competition, but I mean, it's the truth, unfortunately. Look at the detail, look at the reflections on the car and the shine. I mean, that's where this Hasselblad is just, it's just nuts. I mean, I can tell from the FPV view that this is going to be an outstanding visual experience. And again, you know, without exhibiting any form of bias, I don't want to jump to conclusions. Something else that's worth mentioning is that, you know, we've been recording this video for, let's see, how long have we been recording this? Well, we're just this entire video, we're probably about, and I didn't time this precisely, but probably about 20 minutes in from when I walked out on camera. So, of course, I didn't start flying immediately, but I mean, geez, right now I'm at 63% battery life remaining. I mean, we've been flying pretty spirited here. So, you know, this has already impressed me. And that's another thing. I mean, yeah, the drone is slightly heavier and slightly larger than a Mavic Air. But I mean, this performance, this noise, I mean, you don't hear, I've never thought about noise being let's see what kind of level of detail we get with me here. I've never thought about noise being a concern, but when you hear a drone that's so quiet and you realize that people that may be trolls aren't able to detect you as quickly. I mean, obviously I'm in a safe and responsible location, but if there were trolls around, they may hear the buzzing that sounds like bees and be like, man, what are you doing? Are you spying on me, dude? What are you doing? Why are you flying that? Does that have a camera? What do you think you're doing? You know, people that don't understand this hobby of flying drones. I mean, this thing, you know, it brings so much newness to the table, and to see it on paper, it's not easy for one to assume that it's going to bring so much newness. Whoa! But just listen to this. I'm going to bring it back in front of the camera. This thing is incredibly fast, incredibly stable. And again, at the time of filming this, I don't know, you know, what to expect because I haven't edited the video. I don't know how good it looks or how poor it may look. I mean, it's, let's see, there's somebody walking the dog over there. Obviously never fly directly over people, and I'm not going to, but I'm going to kind of get up here and see. Look at that going over the trees. Woof, 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 woof. Where are you? The dog's probably all ears. He's probably like, dude, that's a drone. It's a Mavic Pro 2, man, from epicdroneshow.com. That's right, check the link within this video's description. I mean, I can already tell you, my educated assumption is that this thing is going to be, it's going to be a game changer. I mean, pro quality performance from something that's super portable, gets outstanding battery life, obviously flying line of sight to be safe and responsible, but in certain scenarios where over open ocean or something like that, the range on this thing could just be absolutely incredible. So, I mean, there's so much to be had here, so much to be experienced. And again, this is just the first field test, so I don't want to, I was just watching my trees. I don't want to jump to assumptions. But I mean, this thing is just blazing fast. It's incredibly fast. But I think the HDR, the high dynamic range, I think that's going to be a huge, huge win for this. I mean, this is a Hasselblad camera. This is what they took to the moon, I think. They took up on Gemini and Mercury and maybe some other spaceships. 46% battery life remaining. Already captured, recording 4K 30 frames per second. Already captured about, let's see, 14 minutes and 8 seconds of video. So I mean, I could keep going with this and I could keep rambling on, but, and I'm going to, because I mean, this is the first field test, and there's nothing better to do during the first field test than just, you know, give it a workout and see what happens. Obviously, in follow-up tests, we're going to explore the various features, you know, intelligent flight modes and that sort of stuff. But this is just an overall, you know, first time in the field, you know, no prior experience with this drone. This is a production model. This is not a pre-release. I know there's people that have had videos from the quote-unquote Mavic Pro 2, or Mavic 2 Pro rather, for several weeks now. And it's unfair to assume that any of that is an accurate representation of how this may perform, because, you know, this is the production model. And anything that's pre-release, it may have old software, it may have old parts. You know, they may have discovered a problem, and they may have updated it to address that problem. So, you know, with everything being said, I think, you know, it's unfair, not only for, I mean, it's unfair for anyone to watch a pre-release product performance video and have any sort of reasonable expectation that that's how the actual thing may perform. So this is the production model. And again, you can check the link within this video's description, epicdroneshow.com, and you can find where to order the Mavic 2 Pro. And this is the 2 Pro, meaning that it has the Hasselblad. They do have the Mavic 2 Zoom, which is not a Hasselblad, but it's got a camera capable of zooming. So that's something I'd like to play with. I mean, obviously, my primary interest with drones is, you know, being able to get that really good 4K video quality that's very smooth and very, I mean, just very detail rich. And I think this may do that. I mean, just looking at these trees again, I'm going to do a slow pan here. I wish it had 4K 60, but, you know, again, we can't have everything from a drone. I mean, there's going to be some things that'll be like, what's next? I mean, they gave us a Hasselblad. I mean, geez. You know, they're not cheapening up on that. Let's go ahead and bring this down. Just admiring how smooth it is, hopefully, during descent. Wow. And this is, again, just the first field test of the Mavic 2 Pro. I keep wanting to say Pro 2, it's the Mavic 2 Pro. But just to see if it's going to act up, if I have any problems. By the way, it is worth mentioning, before I started this video, I did not perform any sort of manual tap or manual procedure to focus. So if this video is not well focused, well, I didn't tap anything prior to starting to fly. So that's worth mentioning. Let's bring it back over here. I'm never one to catch a drone, to hand catch a drone. I don't think it's a safe idea. So I'm going to bring it over here and land it. That thing's a beast. I mean, look at that. It's a beast. I mean, we've got 30% battery remaining. But my camera where I'm filming this field test video, it'll only film 29 minutes continuously. So I think we got a few more minutes. Let's see. Yeah, I got about a few more minutes. So let's do a little bit. Let's do a little bonus here, you know, hear the noise. I want you to hear the noise from the drone. Bring it close to the camera here. Okay, it's stopping right now because it's got the obstacle avoidance. I want you to notice, look at how controlled that hover is. Minimal fluctuation. I would say out of all the drones that I've flown, that the fluctuation while this is hovering, phenomenal. It really is. I mean, it's just sitting there. It's like it's not going to move at all, man. It's like this thing is, I mean, look at that. Think about all the engineering that must have gone into this thing. I mean, that is pretty rad. Well, we got 25% battery life. Got the low battery warning there. Again, not playing with any of the intelligent flight modes or anything like that. Just first day in the field, you know, keeping it. Let's see how far up the camera can go. Okay, so that's as far up as it'll point. And then let's kind of go down here, kind of look at that. So there you have it. This is the first day in the field with the Mavic 2 Pro. Again, check the link within this video's description. You can find where to order it online on epicdroneshow.com. You can also find the Mavic 2 Zoom, all the accessories, and a whole lot more there. And I'm going to have a ton of videos. So be sure to subscribe to Irish Guy's Adventure channel. It's youtube.com/IrixGuy. And click that little bell icon so you'll be notified whenever I post another video. And that's, ooh, I almost stepped on the little gimbal guard. That's all for now. It's hot out here, and we're going to get a lot more videos coming soon. So thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day. Hey y'all, IrixGuy here. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe, like, and share. It's viewers like you that enable my channel to continue to grow. Thank you.